Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. I hope this video reaches you in good health, high hopes, and the open heart. I know a lot of chatter is happening online with respects to Charlie Kirk and some other things in the news that got people all emotional and responding for different reasons. I want to be able to say this. I'm somebody who likes to listen to content of different people who think like me, who think differently from me, people who look like me, people who do not look like me, people who share the same political views, spiritual views, whatever you have it, and people who do not share the same views. I like to consume what they're saying so I can analyze it and learn a little bit about the person. I want to say there was a video that I came across a long time ago. I'm going to say about 6 to 7 years ago with Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Many of you guys know who Candace Owens is. And if you've been watching her for a while, you'll know that she had at one point joined forces with Charlie Kirk. And then they became what she identifies as friends. It was a video that had caught my attention only because she was speaking to this young man, Charlie Kirk, and he was speaking so boldly and so loudly about his love of God and his love of Christ. And so that's what caught my attention and had me listening to him because not often do you see young people be so loud about their love for Christ. And over the years, because you know how it is, if you tap into certain people, the algorithm will send you videos. Over the years, I have watched a number of videos with this young man in it. And some videos I listened all the way to the end. Some videos I did not listen to whatsoever. But nonetheless, I watched how much his dialogue changed and grew with intensity over the years. And then most recently, as you all know, he was assassinated. But before he was assassinated, I would say maybe 2 days before, I came across a video he had did on a young lady named Iryna Zarutska, who was out of North Carolina riding the light rail. I think the name of it was Link's Blue Line in North Carolina, in which she was unalived right on a train. And in this video, when he was talking about Iryna, because I had not known who she was, I did not know anything that happened to this young lady, but what he was sharing. And so the way he was speaking with his intensity, as he always does, I was drawn in and I'm hearing how he's wording some of his language and how his language, at least from where I sat on the opposite side of the screen, came off as strong vitriol and visceral in some ways when he started to speak about the attacker. But I understood him to be this person, have strong feelings and strong beliefs about certain things. So, as with any fashion or style, I listened to what he had to say, and then I proceeded to Google about this incident on this light rail that claimed the life of Iryna Zarutska. And I was reminded of Nia Wilson when I was listening to this video. So I want to take you guys back for just a little bit, and I promise you I'm not going to keep you too long. Nia Wilson, on July 22nd, 2018, was unalived on a BART railway system in California, where she and two of her sisters had got on a train to get home around 9:30 at night after attending a family affair or a family party or something like that. They was called their dad and their father let their father know that they were on their way home when someone named John Lee Cowell entered the train the same time, and he's seen on video going into his pant leg and pulling out what appeared to be some type of object, which we later found out was a pocket knife. And he slit not only Nia Wilson's throat, but also attempted to slice her sister's throat as well. Obviously, 911 was called, and Nia Wilson had lost her life. The Black community was outraged about this incident, and it sparked protests within the community, and it was calling for justice for Nia. This was during a time when we were using the hashtag say her name because there were a string of events toward Black women that left many of them unalived. Of course, in 2018, the country was in disarray as it is now and divided as it relates to race relations in this country. Online, many different people weighed in regarding the killing of Nia Wilson, including a writer named Elizabeth Gilbert, who said, "Imagine how differently the story would be covered if an 18-year-old white girl had been murdered by a black man." Elizabeth Gilbert was speaking about the injustices against Black women and felt that there was not enough coverage. Fast forward 7 years later to August 22nd, 2025, when Iryna entered onto the Lynx Blue Line railway system in North Carolina, did nothing wrong other than sit in front of a man who she had no idea was not in his right state of mind. This man proceeded to, on camera, stabbed her in her neck 3 times. Shocked, not knowing what happened to her, she looks up at her killer, and you see her put her hand up to her face, and eventually she went unconscious and lost her life. This person's name who took her life was DeCarlos Brown Jr., who is now incarcerated. Both of these killers were said to have suffered from mental illness. One of them has a known diagnosis of schizophrenia. I mention Iryna because A, it's the same incident, different women, different states, different time, different setting, but the same incident. Both unaware that they would be on the train with a killer who will take their life by stabbing them in the neck. Neither of these women, whether black or white, neither deserve to die. But here I am listening to Charlie Kirk speak about the death of Iryna, in which he brought a lot of attention to her death because the news was not covering her death. So, of course, Charlie Kirk was speaking out against it, and he was making a lot of race comparisons, not comparisons in terms of Nia Wilson, because he didn't mention Nia Wilson not one time, but you know how people do. He was saying that if it had been a black woman, it would have been a lot more noise, a lot more outrage if this would have happened to a black person. But because it's a white person, no one is talking about it. The same thing that was being said 7 years ago when black people thought that it should have had more coverage, more news, and because black people all band together and got into the streets and was protesting this incident and saying justice for Nia, hashtag say her name, it got coverage. But that's not what caught my attention about what Charlie Kirk was talking about. It was the way he went about talking about the different race dynamics. So I watched that video. I listened to what he was saying. I saw his points, whether I liked the delivery of it or not, it didn't matter. I saw his points, and it gave me enough to go ahead and look up this young lady. And of course, once you watch one video, more videos come through. So I've seen other videos that Charlie Kirk had posted that came through where some of his language was, again, once again, kind of harsh, and it was not seasoned with grace. It was not seasoned with salt, to say the least. So, but I listened. I saw his point of view. Some aspects I totally agree with. Some aspects that he got that all wrong. But nothing really stood out as crazy. And the day went on, and I said, you know what? I'll just do a video on Iryna Zarutska the following day, and I will remind people of Nia Wilson as well, because we have a real serious issue in this country where we cannot get on public transportation and be safe, right? Because we know a lot of incidents have happened on public transportations, from people being shot on the train to people being choked out and killed on the train. We know there's a lot of things that have happened both in New York City, North Carolina, California. It doesn't matter. A lot of things go on public transportation. So I said I was going to save it to do a video. And unfortunately, the day I was going to do a video on Iryna Zarutska, the assassination of Charlie Kirk happened. So when I found out about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, of course, my timeline got filled with different videos on different sides. Some people were expressing their hurt, their pain, their sorrow, their fears, while other people were celebrating and saying they didn't care and they had no empathy because of other things that he has been saying throughout the years about different types of people. So I sat back and I said to myself, ooh, whew, this is interesting, right? I said it reminded me of Kevin Samuels when Kevin Samuels died, and he didn't get assassinated, but he died nonetheless. And people were celebrating his death and were out there and talking about how he spoke about black women and the things that he have said and calling him anti-black, and people were really upset about it. And the same type of energy is being, if not more, well, of course, there's a lot more, but there's a lot more energy from all types of people, white, black, straight, gay, it doesn't matter, who are all speaking out against some of his works and some of the things that he has said. And then there are people who are speaking in support of him and saying that his love for Christ and his love as a Christian needs to be respected. And he made a lot of strides with people, and he really touched the youth. And watching his works and seeing what he's done and how boldly he professes Christ as King and Lord, I can see how he was loved by so many people. I pulled away from online because I didn't want to get caught up in saying anything crazy, right? I didn't want to get caught up in all the rhetoric. I'm just so tired. I don't want to say anything, so I backed away. But then today, I was like, well, I already told the people I was going to come back. Maybe I'll just touch on Nia Wilson and Iryna Zarutska, and I'm going to stay away from the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I'm not going to say anything. My condolences to his wife and his children. May he rest in peace. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to leave this alone. Boom, it dropped on me. James 3. James 3. Now, this is not a religious video. Y'all know I don't do religious videos. But some things just have to be said. So I'm going to end this video by reading this. And I just say, just listen to me, brothers and sisters. Just don't jump ship. Just hear out what I have to say and let it fall where it fall. May you interpret from it whatever you want. Just hear this out. And then I will see you guys all again. My Christian brothers, not many of you should become teachers. If we do wrong, it will be held against us more so than other people who are not teachers. We all make mistakes. If anyone does not make a mistake by saying the wrong things, he is a perfect man. It shows he is able to make his body do what he wants it to do. We make a horse go wherever we want it to go by a small bit in his mouth. We turn his whole body by this. Sailing ships are driven by small winds, but a small rudder turns the ship wherever the man behind the wheel wants it to go. The tongue is also a small part of the body, but it can speak big things. See how a very small fire can set many trees on fire? The tongue is a fire. The tongue sets our whole lives on fire with a fire that comes from hell. Men can make all kinds of birds and fish and snakes do whatever they want them to do. But no man can make his tongue say what he wants it to say. It is sinful and does not rest. It is full of poison that kills. With our tongue, we give thanks to our Father in heaven. And with our tongue, we speak bad words about men who are made in the image of God. Giving thanks and speaking bad words come from the same mouth. My Christian brothers, this is not right. Does a well of water give good water and bad water from the same place? Can a fig tree give olives or a grapevine give figs? A well does not give both good water and bad water.